Okay, guys. Okay, one, just the directors. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
The strange thing is that this film was never really started out as a film. It wasn't what we set out to do. We've worked with Nick for 7 years now, and he was the first person to ask Iain and I, former visual artists, to make a music video. And maybe like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, when the band were going in to demo and write Push the Sky Away, he said, come in the studio, come in with us. So we took some cameras in, and the footage that we got was so remarkable, so different, so intimate, that we knew we had to do something more with it. So that's when we started to think about what that could be. And we borrowed Nick's notebooks, and in those notebooks we found discarded lyrics, fragments, and in amongst there, this remarkable, unusual phrase, 20,000 Days on Earth. And really the whole film began then. Our synapses were firing, and we could see that we could make something kind of both big and incredibly intimate about that concept of how long you've been on Earth and what it is that you do with your time when you're here.
I was wondering if this process was a kind of a psychoanalysis for you too.
No. No, I mean, what I liked about the film really was that I was given the opportunity to talk about and ruminate about things that I was actually interested in. This rarely happens in a journalistic or interview situation. So I was really given the opportunity just to write things and talk about things that were unexpected, that I weren't really prepared for, you know, and that I was interested in. So,
I mean, very broadly speaking, the times where you hear Nick speaking over picture, the voiceover, had a script, everything else didn't. So we had storyboards, we had plans, we had situations, but within that, all of the dialogue is essentially improvised.
You know, on the one hand, the film doesn't shy away from the idea that what you're seeing is a lie, that it's a fiction of some sort. But I think through the process of telling an untruth, much truth can be found out. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't really make any sense to me either. I was just throwing it out there.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, I get that.
Ask him the questions. Art is a lie that tells the truth.
Picasso said that, not me.
Oh, did he?
There's very little of what you see is true, is truly what happened in front of the camera. But truth's not that interesting. You know, that's a narrow road to take our imaginations down. We could tell a far richer, more hopefully inspiring story by crafting it, by kind of making it into something more cinematic.
Where do you get your inspiration? Because you touch a lot of people, but I'm talking people about 50 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old.
Did you see the film? No, obviously not.
I'm talking about the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
That's the answer. Yeah.
That's the answer, huh? That's a
Yeah.
good answer.
You go and see the film, that's what it's about.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The question
It's
in the
great.
back. Yeah, it's you. Could you please stand up?
Who's seen the film? All right. Oh, you have seen the film. You just can't remember it. You fell asleep.
Stephen J. for Boston Herald. I wonder if the three of you, it sounded like you were friends before you began this, if you worried that this collaboration might affect adversely your friendship, and who had the final cut, the final decision on the movie we now see?
It's a great question.
It's a good question, yeah.
Yeah, I worried. We were friends
I
before.
can't fucking stand either of them.
I did
Never
worry
did like
because
you two.
oh no. Ian and I knew we had to make a film that we could stand behind, and we wanted to make a film. Hopefully, our ambition was to make a film like you'd never seen before, to try and do something new or push things a bit further than we'd certainly seen happen in music films and maybe in documentary. Just something fresh, and to do that, you have to break some rules, and we didn't know, it could never feel like a vanity project, and that was kind of always the law that we started from. It couldn't feel like a kind of like a promo or a vanity thing. So.